Hey there, this is Phoenix with another Rise of the Witch King commentary. This is another 1 versus 1 on Forza Horizon 2. I know. This map is so overplayed. It is a fantastic map though. And the two players here are also quite fantastic. We have AlexisOnFi, who I've covered in a very recent 2v2. He's also known as Cam, and he's a Rise of the Witch King expert on GameReplays.org, so he's known for being a very good player. And he's Elves, as you can see, gone for a double Mallory start, and then of course Barracks. And in the top left here, we have an Angmar player, DreadReapr, who is going, of course, for a Hall of the King's Men as his first unit production building here is Angmar. Pretty standard, really. And we're just going to wait for the players to get set up. Slowly setting up their economy, building their resource buildings in a triangle. This is all just standard stuff you do if you want to play competitively, of course. 3 resource buildings at 97% in a triangle around your fortress. That's usually where the first 3 resource buildings go. Thrall Master being built, and we have Lorien Warriors also being built. Let's take a look at powers quickly. DreadReapr went for War Chant as his first power, so he didn't go for Fell Wind, so he doesn't have that available. Which works out in this case because Cam is not going for Cavalry. If he had been going for Cavalry, it would probably be a good idea to grab Fell Wind first. And Cam went for a Rallying Call, again pretty standard. His other option really starting off would have been Farsight if you wanted to scout his opponent. But it's always kind of risky doing that just because you don't have that buff at the beginning. Although you also know what your opponent is up to, which can be very useful. It's kind of hard sometimes to decide between them, but usually players go for Rallying Call. And the first Gundabad Orc unit here, summoned from the Thrall Masters, going straight through the center to reach Cam's base as quickly as possible. Cam instead goes around the left here, where it's probably less likely. Well, I guess it's not less likely. He's actually sending his second unit this way. I was going to say it's less likely he'll run into somebody, but since this is his second unit, the second unit often comes from a different direction on fords. And, getting a little close there. Of course, the Lorien Warriors are going to be a lot stronger than Gundabad Orcs. They're getting really close to that Thrall Master there, and if they kill the Thrall Master, it's going to be a problem. DreadReapr is trying to run away with those Orcs. He's actually retreating with these Orcs because he can't actually fight these Lorien Warriors. They're going to be too strong. But he's bringing Axe Throwers now, so he's going to try to go after them. Cam retreated in trees to try to hide, I guess, but yeah, he's been spotted, so he's going to use Rallying Call. And DreadReapr decided it's not worth fighting them with Rallying Call, so he's going to retreat. He's going to build more units. The more the better, really, to stop this. And at some point, the other unit died. I guess, oh no, it's still here. It wasn't really showing up properly on the minimap for some reason. You can see there, it was kind of hidden for a while until it went a little further up. It's like the bottom part of that map doesn't actually show properly. That's interesting. Anyway, now we have Lorien Archers, and they're going to cause a lot of problems with their ranged attack. And now we have Lancers. So this is going to be a problem for Angmar. Angmar is going to want Fell Wind as soon as he gets 5 power points. And these Orcs are no match for the Lancers. And we can see DreadReapr seems to be moving back to his base across the board here to all his units. I'm not entirely sure why. He's planning something. Oh, actually, I do know why. Of course, because of the Lancers. He's reacting to the Lancers. He knows it's a bad idea to send just swordsmen, so he's going to support them with pikes. Good thing about Angmar is they're very versatile. With those Thrall Masters, they can summon pretty much anything except cavalry. They can summon cavalry units too, but only after you build a Troll and Wolf's Den, at least in 2.02. And these Lancers are going to cleverly try to trample the Orcs and avoid the Spearmen there. Another tactic you could try, kind of risky. I don't think it works in one hit with Lancers, but you could try trampling just the Thrall Master of the pikes. This was an issue I raised in discussions in the forums recently, whether this should actually be a feasible strategy. Using cavalry to micro them carefully around Rudar Spearmen and take out the Thrall Master. Because the Thrall Master, of course, is not a pikeman, so he's not going to give that big penalty that pikemen give in terms of just doing a lot of damage to the cavalry. Now, a couple Lorien warriors here. They're going to take out this mill. There's nothing DreadReapr can do to stop that. He actually deleted it, I think, or did he just gain resources from that? I think he deleted it because he was getting 25 resources normally from the mill. Cam here has to deal with a lot of enemy troops. He has his Lorien archers, but his warriors are going to be thinned out pretty fast. DreadReapr took out this Warglare here, getting a few more resources, some power points. Let's actually take a look at 3 points, almost 4 points. He almost has enough for Fell Wind, if that was what he was going for, and Cam's also at around 3 points. And at this point, Cam is going to retreat with his archers. Not really a good idea to keep them around on their own. He still has a Lorien warrior unit that's going to go down pretty fast. And DreadReapr is going to try to attack here. But he is forced to retreat on this side by these Lorien warriors. That's the problem DreadReapr has to deal with. The Elven units are just stronger than his own, so he's going to need to really outnumber his opponent. Which he can certainly do, it's just that his units are kind of spread out and some of them are at his base right now. And these Lancers are going to be pretty effective at harassing. He really needs Rudar Spearmen close to them and Fell Wind to deal with them effectively. 4 points, he's almost got enough for Fell Wind. That would be the next power I would go for in this situation. It can be really difficult sometimes to stop cavalry that are harassing if they're in the hands of a good player, because you can really carefully avoid any confrontations. Really, the best way to counter cavalry is with other cavalry when they're harassing. You need a fast unit. I mean, obviously pikes are the best if you get them close enough, but pikes tend to be slow. Cam might be in a slightly awkward position here. But he could... Okay, yeah, that's kind of not a lot of space. Okay, he did manage to escape there. I don't think they can go around that side over there. I'm pretty sure they can't. I've never actually tried that. I don't think you can go north of the little hill there. So it looked like he was actually trapped, but he managed to just squeeze out with some of those units. He's going to want a Mirror of Galadriel if he hasn't built one already. Yes, he has one. And you can regenerate those guys. I'm not sure what DreadReapr is really doing. He seems to be playing very defensively. And now he's moving these units back too. I don't know why he's constantly moving his units back. Or was it just... I don't know if you noticed this army before and he decided to attack from a different side. But another thing to keep in mind is you kind of need to... Sometimes you just have to sacrifice some units so the enemy's distracted and you can send other units from a different side. That's an effective tactic. You just have to make sure those other units really do enough damage so that the sacrifice is worth it. 3 Lancers here. They did turn around. Cam's trying to reposition them, perhaps, trying to decide what to do with them. He's going to have to be careful with those pikes. I do not see Hualdar on the field yet, and he'd probably be a good addition soon. As for Cam, he doesn't have a hero either. It'll be interesting to see what he chooses. And there you go, Fell Wind right on the cavalry, and that's why Angmar is so dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. I'm always nervous about getting cavalry against Angmar because of that. Like, look at the damage that was done there. It doesn't actually look like... I think the rallying call really helped him out because he didn't actually lose any battalions, although he did take heavy damage with some. And now he can actually come back and finish them off. Now, in this kind of situation, it's always a good idea. If you have pikes and you have other units and you have cavalry with them, basically take out the pikes and then send your cavalry to trample the rest. So always focus on the pikes if you have cavalry backup ready to move in. And that Thrallmaster is getting attacked by the warg. That's not good, although it doesn't look like he has any units. He hasn't actually summoned any units by the looks of it. That's a bit of a mistake there. Hopefully DreadReapr notices that. You can tell he hasn't summoned any units because they're still available here to select. Once you've summoned units, you can't change them. And we have Dark Rangers. They're very powerful archers. They even rival Mirkwood archers, I'm pretty sure, in many ways, because their pierce armor, which protects them from archer arrows, is actually very strong. Their damage is very strong. Not as good as Mirkwood's, but, you know, their pierce armor kind of makes up for it. Their range isn't as good, I think, but, you know, overall, they're still pretty strong. They're one of the strongest archers in the game. Shouldn't underestimate them. And they do get long shot at level 2 and can stealth in trees. So, you know, they're pretty strong all around. We're actually nerfing them just slightly in the next version of 2.02. because given their cost, it's kind of questionable why they're as strong as they are. I mean, Mirkwood archers are very expensive, and Elves are supposed to have really strong archers, but Angmar have really strong pikemen, and namely hill trolls. They have really strong swordsmen with Black Luminorians, which are actually the strongest in the game. They have really exceptional heroes. I mean, they have excellent everything, pretty much. And their sorcerers are pretty formidable too, especially if we revert their attack range. And good use of lancers there to try to trample around the pikes. Didn't get too much off in that attack, but he's going to try again maybe. The whole right side there are no pikes. But I don't know if he's going to risk it. Oh, wait, is he running straight? What is he doing? Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. He lost a lot of lancers there. I think he just wasn't paying attention to them and they just sort of ran. Easy mistake to make, of course. There are so many things to watch out for during a game. It's very difficult to focus on everything. And this Malloran tree is going to go down pretty easily, and it's actually... What level was that, actually? At least level 2. Or is it level 3? It's probably level 2, I think. Yeah. So that was unfortunate there for Cam. But defensively, I mean, he's holding them off pretty well. This Thrallmaster just killing Lorien warriors by himself. These guys are going to take out another Malloran tree, but I think that's the end of the line for them with all these Lorien archers. We still don't see any Mirkwood archers. It's been a while, and again, no heroes. I don't think Cam really upgraded to a lot. He did get Haldir, so he does have a hero. So I missed that part, I guess. Haldir is a pretty good hero. He has splash damage of his melee attack. And his ranged attack is always nice because you can snipe. And of course he gets leadership later on. It will take a while to get him to level 6, but once he's level 6, definitely nice to have. And he's a pretty cheap hero, you can get him pretty early. Good use of Rallying Call on everything there. And DreadReapr is going to retreat, it seems. Cam's going to go around, he's going to harass with the cavalry, and he's going to... Like really right now, he just needs enough Lorien warriors to hold these guys back, and he's spamming a lot of archers because they'll kill these guys very effectively. And oh, we have a summon wildmen, or summon orcs rather, right on top of this. And we also have Longshot there. So that was pretty bad for Cam. He really got screwed by that. Longshot and summon Gunabad orcs right there. He's going to have to rebuild a lot of these units. And he was building a lot of melee units, I guess, because he only had 2 of them earlier. And now he's going to have to build a lot of archers. He is upgrading this barracks. He is going for Mirkwood archers. At this point, his opponent has Dark Rangers. You should get Mirkwood archers. Or just, like, you could try to use Lancers to take them out. But if DreadReapr is careful with his pikes, that might not be very easy. You can see the Thrallmasters healing as they do at level 2. One of the benefits of leveling them up. One thing I kind of don't like is how DreadReapr has his whole army here. It does look like he's... actually, what is he doing with these guys? He shouldn't really run here into these guys. In my opinion, he could benefit if he split up his army and attacked and just kind of went around attacking from multiple sides. I mean, do you really need all that to take out a Malloran tree? Not really. And oh... That was pretty effective. Because those rangers were temporarily exposed there, and oh, they ran back. That wasn't good. He could have saved them there. Archer's getting a bit close. I've had that happen where you order archers to attack and for some reason they just get really close. Sometimes they're really silly. It's especially bad when you have elevation problems, like you're at higher ground or lower ground and they just really act stupidly. Mirkwood archers are being produced. Actually, we have one already on the field. You will want to protect these. They're very expensive, 800 resources each. We have whites. Angmar using whites. Archers are going to be very effective against them from a distance, but he doesn't seem to have... He does have a few archers, actually. And those lancers do not need to be there. They should be far away from the whites. He's going to chase them down. He needs to retreat with the lancers. As you can see, the whites do a lot of damage. It really takes them 2 hits. However, the fortress is also helping out, and one of the whites went down. Now this one's going to go down. There's one more over there. He's going to die fast. And DreadReapr is just doing a fair amount of damage. And that was costly. But he did take out the Thrall Master there with his Rudar Spearman. And now as Cam gets more and more Mirkwood Archers, he's going to be more dangerous. However, I do feel like Elves versus Angmar is not the easiest matchup. Again, like Angmar has great everything pretty much, including great archers. So they can be quite dangerous, even for Elves. And Elves usually don't have too many problems in terms of matchups. Especially with evil factions, I would say. I think they do really well against Isengard later in the game. Against Mordor, they tend to do really well. Against goblins, they just destroy goblins. I think it's a really broken matchup, frankly, although some people disagree. And it's only Angmar, really, in terms of evil factions, that Elves have some difficulty against, I would say. Certainly against a good Angmar player. And Bombadil is going to be a huge problem for this massively clumped army, and he's really fast, too, as you can see. And, oh... It would be useful if he split up his army and ran in different directions, because Bombadil can only chase them in one direction, right? Rather than keeping them together and risking him getting close enough to use Sonic Song. Sonic Song could kill most of these guys. Is he gonna use it? Well, he still did a huge amount of damage. Yeah, one thing we're thinking of doing is lowering this timer for Bombadil, because he's really dangerous for a 10-point power. I mean, he forces entire armies to run away because he kills them. And he has so much health, he's so difficult to kill. We saw the use of Snowbind there to protect that mill. Of course, it killed its productivity, but that's fine. It's level 2, you don't really want to lose it. Cam still has his cavalry over here. Oh, and those rangers are a bit further back. Cam has an opportunity here to take them out, but it looks like DreadReapr reacted. He realized the danger. And now it looks like, okay. Those Mirkwood Archers were taking shots when the army turned around. And, oh, what was that builder doing? Oh, that was unfortunate. Always be careful where you send your builders. And also, you always want to be careful where you leave your builders. That's the mistake I always make. It's, I'll forget my builder beside the resource building I just built, and enemy units show up. Oh, builder. Kill him. It's always a bad thing to happen. In this case, though, I don't know why he went into the middle. I mean, he probably wanted to expand, but still not the right place to expand, considering the enemy army was right there. One thing I recommend when you're expanding is to kind of expand in the direction your army's going. So expand behind your army as it moves, in a sense, is what I mean. So if you're going to expand in a certain direction, make sure you're always going to have units there to prevent the enemy from taking out all your resource buildings right away. And there's just tons of Mirkwood Archers and no protection. They lost all their pikes, it seems. And they're going to retreat a bit here. They can do huge amounts of damage, though. And even though they're unprotected by anything else. Oh, we have another summon orcs. And here we go again. There's not a whole lot you can do as elves in this situation if orcs are summoned on top of your Mirkwood Archers. I mean, you can bring Lancers. That would be pretty much the most effective thing. And he did have Lancers. He might have been able to react faster there to take them out. Maybe. But the problem is the orcs kill the Mirkwood Archers so fast, it's probably too late anyway. So not very good. At least Angmar were men. They have long shot. That's something. Although that also takes a while to execute. So again, you'd lose a lot of units before anything happens. This Warg Lair is still around. It's a bit late for the lair to still be around. Nobody has actually gone for the inns yet. Oh, hello, Gollum. Gollum is hiding over there. See an aggressive stance. What? I never noticed this before. Gollum actually uses stances and he's an aggressive stance? Actually, where did he go? There he is. If he's an aggressive stance, he's taking extra damage. And I think I missed the use of Blight here. can see those archers were hit. Blight is extremely dangerous, really. It can kill whole armies because it's like kind of like Well of Souls, except without the healing. It poisons enemies, and as soon as they get killed, whether by the poison or something else, they turn into whites, and the whites tend to cause a chain reaction, if you will, killing other units and turning them into whites, and you end up with a whole army of whites. The whites disappear pretty fast, but it's still kind of a big problem if Blight's summoned on top of you. And again, Cam is going to try to harass here. And oh, another builder. And that builder's probably screwed. Yep. You really need to react fast and build wall hubs in this situation. But again, very difficult to pay attention to everything that's happening. And again, this mill is in danger. And this time it doesn't look like there's a snowbind to save it. Let's actually take a look at the powers, because I didn't really check it out for a long time. Oh, and we have 675 command points here for DreadReapr. We do have all 3 5-point powers. We've seen them all used, really. And we've seen, of course, some in orcs and some in whites and blight. So, you know, all these powers we've actually seen in the game. So we kind of knew he had them. And Cam also has all 3 5-point powers. He just got Eagles, and he, of course, has Bombadil. Eagles will be interesting. They can be very effective at killing armies of units. It's just the ranges are going to be a big problem. Good use of Fell Wind there. Catches those cavalry, and now they're really screwed. I don't think any of them are going to get out of this. They all went down. One thing I feel Cam could have done more here is maybe attack from just attack from the sides more, particularly with the Lancers, and not try to go and say this part of the map. I don't think this section is, like, it's just a massive risk. Easy to get cornered. I mean, it's literally a corner. You're gonna get cornered. And that hill doesn't really help either. It's very easy to, this is basically a choke point, really. You don't want your cavalry there, in my opinion. I wouldn't even think it's worth trying to harass there. Especially not against Angmar, who have Fell Wind. And we have Summon Whites. The archers are going to retreat, but they can easily kill these Whites from a distance. They just don't want them to get too close. Bombadil's going to chase back this army, though. Again, I would suggest splitting up the army, so just in case Bombadil gets close enough, he doesn't just kill huge numbers of them. Some units moving this way. Orcs protected by pikes in case Lancers show up, and that Malentry is not going to last very long. I'm actually really surprised. I mean, we're still waiting for a lot of things. I still don't see any upgrades. I don't see a troll in Wolf Den at all, which I'm very surprised by. I would definitely have gotten snow trolls by now. I think they would have been very useful. There were a lot of situations where DreadReapr had a chance to kill large numbers of Mirkwood archers. Like, look here. Imagine if he had snow trolls right now, right? These pikes are up here. Easily just run in with snow trolls, take out all those Mirkwood archers. Huge loss for Cam. They're very expensive. So I would definitely suggest snow trolls here, but I'm not a very pro player, so, you know, don't necessarily take my advice as great. A good reaction there. Good reaction. Long shot used again. Always watch out for that. The worst, though, is long shot and Fell Wind together, because you can't really dodge it. You're just going to take the damage. And they, of course, one-hit Mirkwood archers. We have Summon Eagles just going around. Where's the other eagle? There he is. Going to harass a bit, take out some high-level mills. And, oh, good reaction there. Snowbind's going to save that mill. For now, the Eagles are going to go somewhere else. They're going to attack other mills. And again, Cam has tons of archers. Like I said, snow trolls. There are no pikes here. It's just screaming for snow trolls. And that's probably why Cam hasn't really bothered getting too many pikes, because it's not strictly necessary. I mean, you should still have some pikes, but I guess he lost them earlier. And I'm surprised that Angmar is still only on Hualdar. We're not seeing any kind of upgrading here. And Hualdar summoned some spearmen. That was very effective. But, I mean, there's no Morgomir. Morgomir would be great because he debuffs enemy units. And I would say the Witch King later on, too. Although, I mean, you really need a lot of money to summon the Witch King. It's like this late in the game, you can't just rely on a Thrall and Ranger spam, I would say, against Elves. You need more than that. Snow Trolls would be great. Snow Trolls could chase down the Lancers if when they're harassing. And they can trample Mirkwood Archers very effectively. And oh, we have the ring. Gollum was killed. I think these archers killed him. Mirkwood Archers are, of course, very useful for detecting stealth units like Gollum. So Elves actually have a pretty easy time finding the ring in many cases. But it looks like the ring is going to be ignored for now. Cam is busy elsewhere. He might send one of these cavalry units, maybe. I'm not sure if he's interested in pursuing that. It's pretty rare to see Sauron and Galadriel in competitive games, particularly in 1v1s and that sort of thing, because you can't really afford to cash flow to 10,000 resources usually. And by the way, good use of Elven Cloak here. Totally saved those archers. I always forget about this ability. I mean, I know it exists, I just never really use it, and I should, because it's very useful. And, okay, the only problem is he's just kind of running into these axe throwers and taking damage. There's a huge army here. I don't know why he did that. I would have retreated back this way to where this army was and just reinforced it. So I think that was a bit of a mistake there. I did notice Cam did lose quite a lot of Mirkwoods. One of the important things as Elves is try not to lose too many Mirkwoods. But of course, like, there were a lot of times where he just couldn't do anything because like, if orcs are summoned on top of them, what are you really supposed to do? You're just screwed, pretty much. The only thing you can do is a preventive measure, and again we have orcs summoned on top of them. You can see how much of a problem this is. Very powerful power here. I mean, really, you need Lancers nearby at all times or something to actually deal with that. More Lancers being produced. Don't have Noldors yet. It would be nice to see some Noldors as well. Still waiting for more heroes. This is something that's kind of surprising me in this game, is that neither player has really chosen to upgrade too much. They're relying a lot on kind of the same units. The Cam is pretty much relying on Mirkwood Archers. Well, he's got Lancers too. But it's not completely unusual, really, actually, because that's really what Elves do, is they spam Mirkwood Archers and Mythlon Sentries, and they might have Lancers for harassing and some trampling. Noldors are pretty good, though. But he could get upgrades, I would say. I would say getting faster upgrades as Elves pays off really well. Because you don't really have a lot of choices. Ents might have helped, maybe. Like if he's in a situation, the only thing with Ents is it's better when you're in a situation where you kind of pin your opponent and you know he's not just going to show up to kill all your Ents immediately. Again, I am surprised that DreadReapr has not built trolls yet. Like, why would you still spam Thrallmasters? And, I mean, you need a Rudar Spearman, but you can't just rely on a Hall of the King's Men in this situation. This situation just screams Snow Trolls. Uh-oh. Oh, there goes Cam's army. And there you go. That's why Blight is so powerful. If you're a 2.01 player, you might be wondering, whoa, this isn't in 2.01. Yep, because that's what Blight does in 2.02. It's a 15-point power. It's not a 5-point power anymore. And Snowbind was actually made a 5-point power. I think there's a 10-point power in 2.01. And yeah, that's what's happening. Their timer's pretty low, though. They're going to die pretty fast. But we do have summoned giants who are going to go straight for Cam's base here. And did he actually recruit? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, this is the recruited Fortress Eagle. For some reason I thought it was Summon Eagles. And the thing with these Eagles are they're very effective against giants. So the giant will not do too much. Actually, they did do quite a lot of damage, considering. But they went down before they could actually take out this fortress. And Angmar's retreating again. And really two armies here. One smaller one over here and a bigger one over here. Actually, there's a couple units up there as well. Trying to attack from multiple sides. Cam's trying to do hit and run attacks with these archers, it seems. It's interesting he specifically avoided the ring to take a longer path that goes closer to the enemy units to go around those rocks. And now DreadReapr has the ring. I don't know if that was really an accident. Actually, it's this unit that has the ring. Well, that unit's pretty useless anyway, because he only has one pike, so why not go back to your base and hand in the ring? I mean, why not, right? You don't really have anything to lose. It is that unit, right? Yeah, it is. It kind of looks like it's between the Thrallmaster and that pike. Again, I'm surprised this Warglare is still on the map. I think all the Warglares are gone, except that one, surprisingly. Let's take a look at powers again. And DreadReapr, who has his massive army over here. Yeah, he did get the Summoned Giants. He also got Frozen Land since we last looked at it. And he's got 11 points, 14 points until 25, and that eagle went down, and I think that was a Fortress Eagle, right? I don't think he summoned new ones. Yeah, because it's almost charged. But Cam has the Flood, so that is going to be very useful. He might use it right here, actually, because there's a whole army here. Or he might choose to counter the army separately. Ideally, he'll counter the army separately, then attack DreadReapr and use the Flood on his base. But if he doesn't have that option because this army is just too much of a threat, especially with Frozen Land, then he might want to use it right here. I guess we'll see, because DreadReapr seems to be... These Mirkwood Archers will take a while to die. Haldir is level 6, he has leadership, which is why they're lasting so long. And they caught this Thrall here. And now the ring is on the ground. I guess that unit died. Both players are just too busy here trying to fight each other off to grab the ring. It's just not worth the time and effort, I guess. DreadReapr is trying to expand on the left side of the map. Cam is moving on the right here, top right. But DreadReapr is sending a lot of troops in that direction. So Cam's going to have to retreat there at some point. Lancers going back, barely avoiding the pikes. A couple of Mirkwood Archers hiding in the trees, taking shots. And these units are going to have to try to run away. Waldar's still around, level 8. Again, where are the other heroes? Where's the Witch King? Where's Morgomir? Rogash could help, I guess. The Witch King is really useful against Elves. By now, I would say he could have gotten the Witch King. And again, Troll and Wolf Den, Snow Trolls. What? 4 Halls of the King's Men and no Troll and Wolf Den? I just don't agree with that. You need some variety. The reason the game's lasted this long is because there's no variety here. I mean, okay, Cam is playing the way Elves normally play, really. Because Elves just don't have a lot of variety. At least not later in the game. It's really just spamming lots of archers. I guess he could have gone for a few more heroes. Maybe some archer heroes. Glorfindel is always useful. That's one thing the game could use more of in general. Some heroes. As in more than one. Let's look at the economy actually, so and CP. So out of 950, so DreadReapr is almost maxed out here, and he just got Avalanche. I just caught that. Flood still hasn't been used, but Eagles is charged. Bombadil's almost charged. We have Elven Wood, which is charged. A lot could happen here. This could be a nice combo. And looking at DreadReapr, he can't combo as much. He does almost have Fell Wind. But those Giants were charged, and he has Avalanche to take out an army, maybe. That could be useful. I believe Avalanche sucks against buildings in 2.02, but I don't think that was the case in 2.01. The ring is still just sitting there. Oh well. Cam lost the builder. And DreadReapr just controls this bottom left part of the map. There's tons of units here. And oh, that was Avalanche, and there goes Cam's army. Good use of Avalanche. And meanwhile, DreadReapr's army can continue doing some damage, heading straight towards the ring here. He's going to pick it up, it seems, unless he's... Is he going to try to grab it? Yep, he did grab it. And he's retreating slightly, try to get closer to the pikes. Does Cam still have lancers? I don't think I've seen some for a while. That eagle's going to go all the way around, and I heard the flood and summon eagles, and fantastic! Fantastic attack! How did he even do that much damage to the fortress? How much health did the fortress have? Okay, hang on. Okay, flood. Yeah, all he had really is the flood. But it was a great reaction by DreadReapr with Snowbind, and these eagles just, that was a perfect combination. How did he do so much damage? Was the fortress already damaged? That just felt really strong. Maybe I'm just forgetting how strong the flood is. I don't know. But yeah, that was very effective. Absolutely well played by Cam. He almost did it. He almost pulled it off, but Snowbind is such a useful power to have as Angmar. It can really save you, as it did here. And Cam doesn't really have an army over here to finish the job, so DreadReapr is going to get a chance to rebuild. The bomb middle is going to cause a few more problems in the meantime. And it looks like those rangers are finished. Actually, Cam really doesn't have... Yeah, he's massively disadvantaged in terms of units. Although we have a lot of rangers by themselves, and we have the lancers coming after them. These pikes are going to be behind them. And... Oh! Fell wind. Well, it was expected, really. And there go the lancers. Did not work out as well for Cam as he hoped. And there goes another builder. Rangers and really almost no pikes progressing with whites towards Cam's base. But really, I don't see the point. I mean, why attack a base with basically just archers? You can kill some units, but your opponent will just keep spamming units. And especially if you can spam cavalry, he can do quite a lot. Oh, but we have summoned giants. Maybe this was his intention. I heard the Ents. In case you're wondering why the Ents summon sound is different, is because I changed it. It's not the one you hear in 4.0, and there goes the fortress. And now DreadReapr is in really bad shape. Cam is in a better position to survive here. Although those giants are going to do a lot of damage. The Ents are now attacking the Hall of the King's Men. Builders running away. They're going to need to keep building some buildings. There's 2 halls left. They need to build more. I don't see them building anything. Where are they going? He's going to attack with his whole army. He's probably going to try to finish Cam off right now. Really, where... Are they building? Yes, they are. Okay. So, for now, DreadReapr is going to survive this. The Ents are not going to get all the way over there. Their timer is not long enough. And now, DreadReapr just trying with everything he has left to finish Cam off. Cam no longer has any barracks. He still has a green pasture. There's a massive army here, and that was well played with the End summon, but DreadReapr still just barely hanging in there, and he has the numerical advantage in terms of units. And there goes the giant, but now they're going to attack with everything here. Still have some Mirkwood archers, 1 unit actually. They're going to attack with everything they can. He's just spamming Halls of the King's Men at this point. I think he just wants to keep spamming units until he can finish Cam off and not give him a chance to rebuild his barracks. We still have a Fortress Eagle, and those halls are not going to be level 3. And he has no fortress if the Eagles take out the builders, which they might. Oh, there's a builder right there. This is a good opportunity for Cam, and oh, good timing, but that thing's gonna go down fast when the eagle swoops down again, and it brought down the mill. And he can't build wall hubs, of course, because he has no fortress. And there goes a builder, and I think he has 1 builder left. Cam might actually finish this with this eagle. It will take some damage from these axe throwers though, and he actually decided to retreat with it. It's actually better to keep it alive and just use it as much as possible, get as much use out of it as possible. DreadReapr just trying to spam some, of course, some mills, keep his economy going. He still has 1,000 maximum command points, as does Cam. They both seem to have plenty of resource buildings. At this point, it's just straight on base assaults. Destroy the unit production buildings and finish the game, pretty much. It's not about destroying the economy anymore. That seems to be the priorities of the two players right now. The Eagle is going to harass a bit, take out as many mills as possible. Good strategy, but DreadReapr is going to attack with a big army here, and Cam is still trying to recover. He does have a couple of archers together here, and he actually, I missed this, but he did build a barracks back here. Good spot to build it. It's unlikely DreadReapr will get to it for a while, and he's actually working on upgrades as well. But it might be, to use Master Cloud's quote, too little, too late. Still, Mirkwood Archers are very powerful. The only thing is DreadReapr is going to spam like crazy right now to try to prevent Cam from recovering. And DreadReapr gave up. Well, I don't know if he should have given up. It could have still gone his way, really. He had a lot of units, and he could have spammed a lot. I think it was possible, and attacking from a couple of different sides, he could just keep whittling Cam down until he had nothing left. It was possible. The Eagle would certainly have posed a problem, though. That was a very good game. Again, the things that really get me are when players don't really upgrade stuff. Like, Snow Trolls were so needed in that game, in my opinion. It shouldn't have devolved to the point where it was just spamming Merkwards versus spamming Thralls and Rangers, right? Like, Snow Trolls mixed in would have made a huge difference. So stuff like that, you know, things to look out for. And the Witch King, too. The Witch King would have been so useful. He could have countered the Lancers. He's very difficult to kill, even with Mirkwood Archers. And he's just really powerful in general. He would have been very useful in that game. And Morgomir earlier on, that sort of thing. And for Elves, I think we could have seen more heroes. Maybe a few more pikes, although I guess in the end there weren't really any cavalry to deal with, so it wasn't strictly necessary. But yeah, it was a very interesting game. Well played by the players. And I will be doing more casts in the future. I do want to prioritize non-Fords of Eisen games and non-Buckland games because there's so many of those. People tend to get bored after a while of watching them. So if you do have any replays that are interesting, that are not on Fords of Eisen and not on Buckland, make sure you upload them to the 2.02 replay section on gamereplays.org in our Rise of the Witch King section. And just write a comment saying you're interested in having the replay basically being cast in the video. And I always read the replay section, so, you know, it's definitely something I'll be looking out for. So if you have any replays to suggest, definitely post them. I'm always looking for more replays. Anyway, this was Phoenix with another commentary. I'll see you guys next time.